Myself, Dr. G. Kalichelvi, Associate Professor of Botany, Sri Sharda College for Women, Autonomous, Salem 16. In this video, I am going to discuss about plant succession. What is plant succession? The orderly and gradual replacement of one plant community by another community till the development of climax community in an area is called plant succession. Plant succession is an orderly process of community change in a unit area. It is a natural process. It results in a climax community in the area. Plant succession starts in a bare area and ends with a climax vegetation in the area. So the direction of succession is predictable. As a result, a new community suitable to the environment colonizes in an area. Succession leads to the formation of climax community. Kinds of succession. Succession is classified into different types based on the presence or absence of vegetation, agencies causing succession, dominant organisms, nature of substratum. First, presence or absence of vegetation. On the basis of presence or absence of vegetation in the region, it is divided into two types. They are primary succession and secondary succession. Primary succession is a succession starting from an bare area. Secondary succession. Succession taking place in an area which was once occupied by plant community is called secondary succession. Agencies causing succession. On the basis of agencies causing succession, it is divided into two groups, autogenic succession and allogenic succession. Autogenic succession is a succession taking place due to the influence of existing plant community. Allogenic succession. Succession caused by factors other than plant community. Third one, dominant organisms. On the basis of fundamental nutritional status of dominant organisms, succession is grouped into two types. Autotrophic succession. If phototrophic organisms form the dominant community, it is called as autotrophic succession. Heterotrophic succession. If heterotrophic components form dominant community, the succession is called as heterotrophic succession. Fourth one, nature of substratum. On the basis of nature of substratum, it is divided into four types: hydrosphere, gerosphere, mesosphere, and spherule. Process of succession. Succession starts in a bare area and ends in a climax community. It is caused by many factors. It takes place by following steps: nudation, invasion, accesses, aggregation, competition, reaction, and stabilization. Nudation. Nudation is the process of development of bare area. It is the first cause for succession. So it is also known as initiating cause. It takes place by three types: topographic causes, climatic causes, and biotic causes. Topographic causes. The physical features of the earth assisting for erosion to occur are called topographic causes. Climatic causes. The various climatic conditions causing the development of bare area. Biotic causes. The activities of living organisms responsible for the formation of bare rock. Invasion. Invasion is the migration of propagules of plants to the bare area. It takes place by spreading of seeds, spores, and vegetative propagules. It is a continuing cause. SSS. The establishment of plants in the bare area immediately after invasion is called SSS. It is a continuing cause for succession. Aggregation. Increase in the intensity of plants in an area is called aggregation. It is a continuing cause. Competition. Competition refers to the life contest among the established individuals in the area. Reaction: modification of environment by the plant community in the area is called reaction. Stabilization: formation of stable plant community in the area is called stabilization. Climate is the main cause for stabilization of climax community. Hydrosphere. Hydrosphere is the process of orderly changes in plant communities in a water body. It consists of following stages: phytoplankton stage, rooted submerged stage, rooted floating stage, reed swab stage, sedge meadow stage, woodland stage, and forested stage. We will discuss it one by one. First, we will discuss about phytoplankton stage. Existence of phytoplankton alone in water body is called phytoplankton stage. It is the first stage of hydrosphere, so it is also known as pioneer stage. The phytoplanktons are free-floating microscopic organisms. They include green algae, and diatoms. These organisms are carried to bare water by wind or inflowing water. They increase in number and biomass. They become abundant in the water. This is the pioneer stage. Zooplankton and aquatic animals appear in the water body and consume the phytoplankton. Death and decay of this aquatic organism add organic matter to the bottom of the water body. The organic matter forms muck at the bottom. Next stage is rooted submerged stage. The stage of hydrosphere at which rooted submerged plants form dominant community is called rooted submerged stage. It is the second stage of hydrosphere. The muck at the bottom of water body is suitable for the growth of some small plants. So rooted submerged plants start to grow on the substratum. These plants appear when water depth is 6 to 15 feet. These plants form dense growth as a tangled mass. Death and decay of these plants adds more muck. This muck together with eroded soil gets deposited at the bottom of water body. The water body becomes more and more shallow. It becomes unsuitable for rooted submerged plants. Next is rooted floating stage. The stage of hydrosphere at which rooted floating plants form dominant community is called rooted floating stage. It is the third stage of hydrosphere. The rooted submerged plant starts to disappear from the area when the depth of the water is 4 to 8 feet. Then rooted floating plants starts to grow well and forms dense growth. These plants root in the mud and their leaves remain floating on the surface of water. Large leaves of these plants prevents the light penetration. So submerged plants disappear. Owing to the deposition of more eroded soil and organic matter, the depth of the water becomes very shallow, that is 2 to 4 feet. It becomes unsuitable for the growth of rooted floating plants. Reed swap stage. The stage of hydrosphere at which rooted emergent plants form dominant community is called reed swap stage. It is the fourth stage of hydrosphere. This stage is seen in habitats where the depth is varying from 2 to 4 feet. This stage consists of amphibious plants. They are rooted in the soil and their shoots remain exposed to air. Hence it is known as amphibious stage. These plants have well-developed rhizomes. They form dense growth more rapidly. The extended leaves of amphibious plants prevent light. So, rooted floating plants disappear completely. They add large new quantities of organic matter to the soil by death and decay. As a result, the water becomes shallow and the substratum becomes unsuitable for their growth. Next stage is sedge meadow stage. The stage of hydrosphere at which marshy plants form dominant community is called sedge meadow stage. It is the fifth stage of hydrosphere. It develops when the water level is few centimeters below the soil surface. The soil substratum is favorable for the growth of the members of Cyperaceae and Poaceae. They form a dense mat-like vegetation on the soil. First, they establish thick growth at peripheral region and gradually move towards the center of the pond. Because of fast growth, they cover the entire soil surface. They transpire rapidly and accumulate debris on the soil. So water level goes deep layer. As a result, the soil becomes unsuitable for marshy plants. Next is woodland stage. The stage of hydroseed at which woody shrubs form dominant community is called woodland stage. It is sixth stage of hydroseed. They develop due to the invasion of seeds from nearby areas. The soil water goes to deeper layer because of poor water harvest during rainy season and transpiration by plants. The soil becomes more suitable for trees. The soil becomes drier, so these plants are destroyed. Next stage is forest stage. The stage of hydroseed at which tree species form dominant community is called forest stage. It is the climax vegetation in the area. Woodland plants add much humus to the soil and increase the microbial wealth and moisture holding capacity of the soil. The soil becomes suitable for the growth of tree species. So the tree species invade the area one by one and form a thick growth. As they develop, light demanding plants are destroyed from the area. The trees grow well and forms a climax vegetation corresponding to the climate of the area. The climax vegetation is characterized by dense growth of trees, abundant shrubs, herbs and grasses, capability of self-maintenance, stability to fluctuations in climatic conditions. Thus, hydrostry starts with phytoplankton stage and ends in a climax forest vegetation. Gerosid. The process of orderly changes in plant communities in bare rocky substratum is called xeroseed. The several stages of xeroseed are as follows. That is crustose lichen stage, folious lichen stage, moss stage, herb stage, shrub stage, forest stage. First we will discuss about crustose lichen stage. The stage of xerosid in which crustose lichen colonize on rock surface is called crustose lichen stage. It is the first stage of xerosid, so it is known as pioneer stage. Bare rock is generally exposed to the sun, so it remains dry for a long time. There is no dissolved mineral in it. The first group of plants going to colonize on the rock should have a capacity to resist the dryness and to dissolve the minerals for their needs. The first community appearing on the rock is crustose lichens. These lichens reach the rocks through wind in the form of spores or broken fragments. Lichens produce carbonic acid. It is a weak acid. It brings about the weathering of the upper layer of the rock. As a result, consolidated rock particles are formed. Organic matter is gradually added to these particles due to the death and decay of lichens. As a result, little soil develops on the rock surface. This soil is not suitable for crustose lichens, but it is best for foliose lichens. Next stage is foliose lichen stage. The stage of xerosid in which foliose lichen colonize on the rock is called foliose lichen stage. It is the second stage of xerosid. Foliose lichens appear on the substratum built by crustose lichens. Their body consists of branched, leaf-like thallus with a foot. The foot fixes the thallus on the rock surface. These lichens accumulate dust particles on the rock surface. By the death and decay of the lichens, more organic matter is added to the substratum. The resulting substratum can retain more amount of water because of the presence of a thin layer of organic matter. Thus, the substratum becomes suitable for growth of mosses. Next stage is moss stage. The stage of xerosid in which mosses grow well on rock surface is called moss stage. It is the third stage of xerosid. The newly built soil is removed from its place of origin by rainwater and it is deposited in the crevices on the rock. Spores of mosses are carried to this rock by wind. When favorable season comes, the spores germinate and produce dense growth of mosses over the rock surface and in the crevices of the rock. As a result of death and decay of mosses, still more amount of organic matter is added to the soil, so the thickness of the soil increases slowly. After many such generations, soil becomes suitable for the growth of herbaceous plants. Next stage is herb stage. The stage of gerosate in which herbs form dominant community is called herb stage. It is the fourth stage of gerosate. Seeds of herbaceous plants are carried to the substratum by winds or by birds. The thickness of organic layer increases due to the accumulation of more and more organic matter to the soil. Weathering is also going on continuously to the action of organic acid produced by microbes in the organic matter. The soil is getting thicker in course of several years. It becomes suitable for the growth of shrubs. Next is shrub stage. Shrub stage refers to the growth of dense shrubs. It is the fifth stage of gerosate. The propagules of the shrubs migrate to the area by wind and by living beings. Due to the dense growth of shrubs, the amount of light reaching the herbs is reduced. So the herbs are gradually eliminated from the area. Shrubs add organic matter to the soil. The thickness of fertile soil increases. The soil becomes suitable for the growth of the trees. Stage is forest stage. Forest stage refers to the dominant growth of tree species. It is the final stage of gerosate. It is a climax vegetation. The soil enriched with organic matter produced by shrubs is favorable for the growth of trees. The seeds of trees are carried to the wind by wind, birds and animals. The seeds germinate under suitable conditions and gives rise to trees. Trees are found here and there and far away from one another. The growth rate is very low. But in course of time, the trees become dense and form thick vegetation. The trees are mostly mesophytic. The xerophytic trees also form climax forest. This forest vegetation is more or less stable for several years without much changes in its structure. Coming to the conclusion, plant community is an orderly process of community change in a unit area. As a result, a new community suitable to the environment colonizes in the area. Succession leads to the formation of climax community. The climax community has maximum biomass, maximum biodiversity and relationships. As the total biomass increases, many habit niches are created within the community. Forest is the climax community. Let us discuss some important questions based on this topic. What initiate a hydrosate? Phytoplankton. What type of environment starts a gerosate? Rock. Which plant community appears first in the hydrosate? Plankton. Which succession ends both hydrosate and gerosate? Climax. Which vegetation dominates the final stage of gerosate? Forest. Here are some references related to this topic. Thank you for watching this video.